too raw for TV. So it looks like that video I did yesterday was just in the nick of time. That video I did yesterday talking about, you know, why is it that Joel Embiid is not really given the same litmus test that other superstars are given, right? So right on cue, guess who is the December 2021 Eastern Conference Player of the Month? None other than Joel Embiid. Now, I'm not going to say that his numbers aren't worthy of it in any normal circumstance. No. I mean, he put up during the month of December, he averaged 29.2 points, 11.2 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.3 blocks. Overall, in the month, he shot 49.6% from the floor, 39.1% from three-point range, 84.5% from the free throw line. And he appeared in 13 contests. And in those 13 games, Philly went 8-5. So they did make up some ground on their losing overall record. Okay, so like in a normal circumstance, I wouldn't hold it against him. But DeMar DeRozan had something was at a total disadvantage last month, obviously, because he missed some time because he was out due to health and safety protocols. So he didn't play in all of the games in December. And that's where the whole that I'm assuming that's part of why he didn't win it. But in the 8 games that he played in, because he missed the 3 games, they were 9-2 in the month. But in the games that he played in, the Bulls were 8-0, perfect 8-0. He averaged 29.3 points, 5.6, 4.3 rebounds, 5.6 assists, 51.5% from the floor, 62.5% from three, and 85% from the foul line. And then, of course, in the last day of the month, he hit that spectacular buzzer beater, right? He hit the spectacular buzzer beater against the Pacers. That doesn't include the buzzer beater he hit the first day of 2022 against the Washington Wizards. But that's just how it's always been for DeMar DeRozan. People still won't let the playoffs of 2017 and I believe 18, I think it was, they won't let that go when he did not perform up to expectation. You know, um, they won't let it go. And he's been snubbed before. Because remember last year in the Western Conference. Well, no, I can't say Western Conference because they don't do it like that anymore. But as far as reserves in the All-Star game, he was snubbed. He wasn't even a replacement as a reserve. He wasn't an All-Star, even though he was putting up All-Star level numbers. And then, this whole notion, people are saying like the Bulls they're just a flash in the pan. You can't trust them. I remember these same idiots, Colin Cowherd and others, were talking about how the Bucks were fool's gold, right? And we saw what happened last year. They never admit when they're wrong, but always want to pat on the back when they're right. The Bulls are the first seed in the Eastern Conference, despite being the first team heavily decimated by this outbreak, which, by the way, has gotten totally out of hand. Yesterday was the first time in the history of this whole, situation, the whole time with the pandemic, that we've had 1 million reported cases worldwide. The only saving grace is that this version is much milder than the others. But the flip side of it is the remix version of the Shaolin Curse. The bad thing is because there are so many cases that there still has been an uptick in hospitalization. So a lot of angry people out there, man. I don't want to make this about that too much, but yeah, a lot of these teams were decimated by what's going on. But the Bulls were the first ones. You could argue they were the hardest hit. At one point, they had like 10, 11 people out or something like that. But they were able to recover and still have the best record in the NBA. And you can make the argument had they not had this issue, they might have had the best record in the NBA overall. And I'm gonna say this too about the Chicago Bulls. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls would be a laughing stock of a franchise in the NBA, and I'll tell you why. Um, Outside of the Jordan era, can you really name another era with the Bulls where they were like the prohibitive, like overall dominant favorites? Not even in the '70s when they had Norm Van Leer and Chet Walker and Gilmore later on. The late Jerry Sloan, with the late Norm Van Leer for that matter. Even when they had that team, Bob Love, um, they were not the prettiest team in the world. They were more of a garbage pail, blue collar type team that the elite snobs didn't root for. Chicago was all about hard work, and Chicago is the probably the city most associated with hard work and blue collar, lunch pail, hard hat type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the city that people who work manual type labor jobs. That their teams have always been you know representative of that type of lifestyle, that type of demographic, and a lot of people who are upper class snobbish motherfuckers. They don't root for Chicago. Jordan forced them to talk about Chicago. Even Derrick Rose in that era, they weren't like talked about or respected in the same manner that LeBron and Miami Heat and Kobe and the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So the Bulls have, save for the Jordan era, a lot of people who don't give them the respect that they should, that they really deserve. And to sit up here and say that this team has no chance, all that is just an extra chip on the shoulder. It's just an extra chip on the shoulder for all these guys playing on this team right now. And I want to tell you something right now. I hope the fucking Bulls win 65 fucking games this year. Probably not going to happen, but I want these motherfuckers to win 60 fucking games this year. And I want them to fucking win the title just to shut these motherfucking pricks up in the media who don't want to give them any fucking respect. I'm tired of people in the media preaching one thing, but their actions say another thing. They talk about winning. They talk about winning, right? But why do I see articles giving the MVP award to Nikola Jokic? Why do I see people saying LeBron James should be the MVP? Why do I see people saying Joel Embiid is the best center? And all these motherfuckers have losing records. So you say one thing about other people got to prove their greatness by winning, but you keep rewarding a lot of these guys who have done nothing but be mediocre as far as their actual team's performances. So, like I said before, this is why this is the last year that I'm going to be lenient when it comes to Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic. They've been in the league long enough. Nobody coddled and babied Giannis almost from the get go when he became a superstar. When he established himself as a superstar, he had to prove himself by winning. Okay, he's done that. So I want to see Jokic. I want to see Luka Doncic. I want to see these guys take these teams to the conference finals. I'm not saying they got to go to the finals immediately, but I just want to see some improvement. I want to see them carry a team like LeBron did in his fourth year, go to the finals, or carry his team to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, like Carmelo did in his sixth year in the league. I mean, I just want to see something like that. But anyway, what you guys think?